in seeking, in striving. I'm in it with all my heart. Vincent van Gogh. We continue our heartfelt conversation with MD and head of Norwest India, Niren Shah. Niren, you've had a lot of success too as a partner at Norwest. Talk to me about the ones that you're so excited about and some that maybe didn't work out.
So, we've been very fortunate. I think a lot of the companies we have been working with, I think we have I think we've been fortunate to be able to sort of be, part of the journey with almost about 8 or 9 unicorns. I would say that, we did speak about Swiggy, but there is a company called Off Business. It's currently valued at about, $5 to $7 billion, depending on the primary and secondary markets. Off Business is like a marketplace of all the B2B businesses, starting with steel, bitumen, and it's again a $1 trillion market. It's a company which has been growing at 3x.
You rejected them 3 times, if I'm not mistaken.
That's totally true. And the only reason for that was this kind of business should be profitable. And the minute they became profitable, literally the minute they became profitable, 3 months later, our money went in. Just absolutely stellar founders. They have continued to grow at a stellar pace. And, this year, they'll probably close they'll have a PAT of more than 500 crores.
Really?
And this is a company which, the market should basically await because definitely going IPO in the next 18 months. And, the profit should hopefully multiply from where it is here.
I forgot to ask you this, but you invested in Swiggy at what market multiple?
It was $25 million pre.
$25 million US, you got Swiggy. And how much you get a Swiggy at that time?
We owned about 19% of Swiggy.
Fabulous. And Off Business, what have you?
So we came in there at a slightly higher valuation because we waited for them to become profitable. So it was about 200 million. But even there, from there to here is almost about a 25x.
You hit sixes, my friend. You're known to hitting sixes. Tell me of a company that you invested in, but is now listed, so we can understand the ride they've had.
So a phenomenal company called 5-Star. It's a company which actually does MSME financing. It recently got listed about 2-3 months ago.
Niren, fascinating. Tell me about the founders.
So Lakshmipati is the founder. He is a gentleman who actually joined this company. It was run by his father-in-law. He joined this company about 20 years ago. He perfected this model over the last 15 years. And only in the last 5 years, he took private equity money and started growing it. So it's amazing. It was like, cooking that and perfecting it for 15 years without outside financing, doing small things, experimenting. And then after that, he's gone out and now grown the company, over the last 5 years, literally, as I said, close to 100% CAGR, right? And honestly, it's just an impressive company.
You feel, as a VC, as a listed company, that he's barely scratching the surface yet of the opportunity.
Because the market size is massive. The customer segment is very, very different from what others are doing. And, it's very hard for people to give loans at 3 to 5 lakh rupees and actually make the economics work. Banks will do it at 1 crore. Right. I think bigger finance companies will do 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, very different market.
So he does it through technology, obviously.
Actually, it is definitely technology, but there's also a lot of risk management. There's also feet on street. It's a very impressive company.
Interesting. You talked about the sixes. Occasionally you get bored for a duck. Which ones were you disappointed with that didn't work out for whatever reason?
So, we had a company called Quicker, which went all the way to the unicorn. I think they had a couple of, product market misses, lapses. I think sometimes what happens is that it does not work out for the best. I think we tried a lot, but, and I think this is part of investing in very early stages, that sometimes things go well, but if the companies are not able to scale, if the companies, the company had a fraud, and if they have some of these issues, you also, hopefully the idea is that you win 30 and you lose 1. But again, they're trying to make a comeback.
You have a good slug ratio, as they say. In terms of hits and misses, you get lots more hits than you get misses. Talking about drawdowns, a lot of the tech stocks that were powering, the global tech stocks, I'm talking Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, are down 50 to 60%, which leads to a lot of critics to say that the best days of tech are behind them, that was a bubble and it's over. Is it true globally? Is it true in India?
I think that there are 2 parts to this answer, right? One is that these tech stocks are virtual monopolies. They're like countries, right? So it's going to be a little hard to topple them. And yes, the valuation had gone up and it's come off a bit, but take an Amazon. It's the global e-commerce leader. It's, people are going to do more and more e-commerce. It only goes one way. So they will continue to do well. On the other hand, there are companies like, if you look at Facebook, the usage is going down. But again, WhatsApp is a huge sort of, golden nugget there. You take Google, now people are worried about ChatGPT, right, coming in and disrupt, but it will take them years to disrupt these things. So I think that yes, valuation will go up and down, but these people invest a lot in tech and what's new, right? And therefore I think it's going to be very hard to topple them. They're not just one product companies. They've got a suite of technology and they'll continue to evolve. So I'm at least much more bullish.
Coming back to India, what is the space that Norwest looks at? Where do you find the most interesting value where you're willing to write your check? What is your ticket size anyway?
Typically, we'll do about $25 to $75 million in each company.
That's a good
It's a good ticket size. We will largely do Series B onwards, late stage venture, or we'll do early growth equity. So that's the ticket size. We're not doing the $150 million, $200 million check sizes. And by exception, we'll even do $5 and $10 million check sizes, right? Where it may be a Series A, we've done one or two, but those will be more one or two a year. But we've got a very defined sort of, playbook, which has worked quite nicely. And where we'll actually say that, look, between 25 and 75 million, we're your guys.
Okay, but which are the particular sectors? You're not looking at brick and mortar, right? You want to look at technology-led
So we'll do we'll do both. I think that, so we've done a lot in financial services and fintech. We've done a lot in core technology, e-commerce, logistics tech, things like that. Then we're also looking at consumer and we're also looking at healthcare. So those would be the sectors. Any place where we actually feel there's a very strong team and there's a space that can get disrupted, it may not be only because of tech. We would do that. And of course, we care a lot about monetization, as I already spoke.
You are ready for a rapid fire?
Absolutely.
Great. Okay, so let me start you off. An Indian promoter that you admire?
Azim Premji.
From Wipro, of course.
Yes.
A company with the best business model in your view, not necessarily your investee company, but a company whose business model impresses you.
Well, I continue to really like Google because I think they're actually, despite all this ChatGPT, tech company. At heart, any technology, I think that there is a lot of work they're doing at the background. And so I continue to believe that, tech is going to be the future. So someone like
and there's so many assets like YouTube hidden inside it, Gmail, YouTube, which is
and they don't necessarily monetize it right now, but along the way, they're going to monetize.
They get you hooked and then they'll monetize it.
Yeah.
Any three people, living or dead, that you'd like to have over to your home for dinner?
So I think Warren Buffett, because strong fundamental,
he's a crowd favorite always. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm genuinely very impressed by how Mr. Modi has transformed India, right? There has been a lot of this is a tough country as a democracy to run. And I actually think that at least from the business community standpoint, it's been transformational. So that would be a real privilege. And then again, on a different note, Mother Teresa. So I just think that she's...
So there's a philanthropic side to you and there's a profit side to you. Lovely.
Is.
I'm going to give you the name of three VCs. Who would you like to meet? Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Mark Anderson. So
I think more of Peter Thiel. And I think, again, there are parts of him I really like and parts of him, I mean, they would not be me. But I think Peter Thiel is a very first principles. I don't know if you've read his book, 0 to 1.
Of course.
And first principles VC will take any bet, right? He will not be shaped by the herd and is willing to sort of come in early, back people. And so I relate to that a lot more. I don't think Elon is as much of a VC as much as an entrepreneur. I think...
Peter Thiel backed Trump and Trump won. So that's his claim to fame. Are you a Democrat or Republican in American politics?
I'm more versed with Indian politics than Americans.
Fair enough. A book that you would recommend to aspiring investors?
So I like this, really like this book called Principles by Ray Dalio.
Ray Dalio, just come out, yes.
Unbelievable. Actually, it's about a few years old, so he's come up with different editions. But it's an unbelievable book in terms of just figuring out how you want to run your life and the why behind it. And so I just found that it was sort of very profound for me.
Also a fascinating study of how he's built his businesses. An emerging market that you think will have the maximum unicorns by 2035?
India.
The answer is self-evident.
No brainer.
We have how many, 150 or so right now?
Yeah, but I think that, just the size of the market, the fact that we're the last big English-speaking country, the number of consumers, like we have 800 million internet consumers, US is only 300 million. So as the GDP per capita goes up, right, you're going to produce a lot of unicorns. And again, the stranglehold of big tech is not there. It's not like an Alibaba controls all of e-com, or so for every Amazon there is a Flipkart, there's a Meesho, there's a so there are many people. So that's why that under that sort of big forest cover, a lot of stuff is growing. So I think it's going to be
once
big.
told me there are 1 billion people in India, there'll be 1 billion companies in India. So a lot of companies will prosper out here. Okay, higher or lower over the next 5 years, Bitcoin or Etsy?
Bitcoin.
A cloud company or an artificial intelligence company, what would you bet on?
I mean, in certain aspects, clearly AI, because it does a lot more than the cloud. But again, I don't think that AI companies are going to be like every second company in AI is going to win. I think there is like, it takes deep AI, and certain companies will become very, very large. Cloud companies, on the other hand, a lot of, global SaaS is going to do very well, but there'll be many, many companies. So kind of.
Active or passive investing?
Absolutely active.
Okay. Higher or lower, the Sensex over 1 year?
Higher.
Bitcoins, higher or lower over 1 year?
Higher.
Oil over 1 year, higher or lower?
I think the same.
Over the next 5 years, would you rather have your home in Silicon Valley or in Bangalore?
In Mumbai.
In Mumbai?
Mumbai. I'm betting on Mumbai making some comeback on the tech scene. So I think this whole Mumbai, Pune sort of, needs to get developed. So I'm very happy here. So
You're still in love with the environments of the BSc where you grew up with, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Lovely. It is said, chase down your passion like it's the last bus of the night. Clearly, Niren, you've done that with all your investments. Thanks for coming in and joining and sharing your passions with us on Wizards.
Thank you so much, Ramesh. It's been a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you.